You breathe every day without noticing, yet your final inhale changes everything forever. When that breath dissolves, silence swells, electricity hums, and perception rushes open like sunrise. You do not fade. You bloom without skin, sensing texture inside the stillness. Relatives may gasp, machines may flatline, yet inside the pause you feel larger than the room. Death looks like a stop from outside, yet from within it feels astonishingly awake. First a softness unwraps your limbs, then gravity loosens its grip one subtle thread at a time. You hover millimeters above the mattress, hearing every whispered prayer as resonant thunder. Your heartbeat has ended, yet you count the Morse code of tears tapping the floor. This detachment starts as a gradual unwinding, a careful untying of lifelong knots. Each knot holds memories, habits, dreams, and every loop must loosen before you glide free. A silver filament glows between your new light body and the husk below you. Traditions name it the silver cord. You experience it as liquid magnetism flowing both directions. Thoughts of unfinished business thicken that cord. Breaths of acceptance make it shimmer thinner. If your passing was sudden, you might yank that strand, shouting at doctors who cannot respond. Confusion spikes because you hear them pronounce death while you remain vividly conscious above. Near-death explorers describe the same weightless balcony, the same panoramic vision, the same peace. You watch your chest rise no longer, yet feel neither panic nor regret in that instant. Instead, a calm curiosity blossoms, urging you to observe rather than intervene. The scene resembles a lucid dream where you float near the ceiling, noting every timeline simultaneously. You realize belief never prepared you for sensation this clear, this intimate, this undeniably real. During the first earthly day you remain close, orbiting the body, studying reactions around you. You notice how every emotion painted on each face splashes directly across your own energy. A sister's serene gratitude lifts you higher. A cousin's denial drags you closer to hospital tiles. You start understanding that thoughts are bridges, and you must choose which bridges to cross. While nurses complete paperwork, you drift home, testing whether walls still matter to your movement. 7 rotations of sunrise compose the corridor cultures quietly honor with wakes and candles. For most souls, these 7 days feel like dawn inside fog. Familiar shapes, unfamiliar laws. You hover beside bedsides, ride in hearses, linger near photographs, listening to stories voiced in public. Some part of you absorbs each gesture, measuring the harvest of your lifetime through hearts still beating. If those hearts radiate acceptance, you feel carried forward. If they radiate despair, you feel restrained. Imagine watching your own funeral from arm's length, smelling lilies, reading eulogies through closed eyes. You try to comfort your partner, yet your hands move through theirs like mist across grass. Their sob becomes weight on your shoulders until you encourage them silently to breathe and release. Every tear either knits another knot or dissolves one. You sense the chemistry instantly. By the 7th night, gratitude usually outweighs grief, and the silver cord thins to a trembling thread. Now the deeper review begins, stretching through 40 earthly days, an interior documentary without narration. Calendars still flip on kitchen walls, yet time for you becomes stretchy, elastic, nonlinear. Mentors approach, luminous yet familiar, guiding you toward panoramic screens made from living memory. You watch moments replay from multiple angles, then step inside them sensing every consequence firsthand. Hurt you caused returns as feeling inside your chest. Love you gave returns multiplied exponentially. This life review serves as perioperative insight, exposing motives beneath each action, never punishment. You realize how a single encouraging phrase redirected a stranger's decade, or how a shrug wounded a child. Patterns emerge like constellations, repeating fears, recurring generosity, unspoken regrets waiting to be untied. With each realization your field brightens, the cord weakens, and a distant music grows louder. You understand that forgiveness is physics here. Release mass, gain altitude, hear the music clearer. While memories unwind, earthly attachments lose density, titles, bank accounts, unlocked phone notifications, unfinished series. You recognize the absurdity of clinging to emails when galaxies invite exploration beyond thought. Still, some spirits cling. The mentor hands you a choice each moment: carry or cast off. When you release them, the silver cord dissolves and a gentle light pulls from beyond. That call feels internal yet colossal, like memory of home newly recalled. You notice how every thought about you becomes a rope either binding or freeing. A grateful daughter loosens knots with prayer, while a despairing partner tightens them. Here you discover that love without attachment is the first gate in the afterlife. Remember this when you comfort someone departing. Your inner state becomes their weather system. If you panic, they feel a storm. If you breathe steadily, they feel sunrise after rain. You cannot fake harmony because the plane between thoughts and energy is transparent now. Choose sincere gratitude, speak blessings aloud, visualize their journey opening like a garden gate. Those choices reach them faster than sound and support their orientation in unfamiliar terrains. You who still walk in flesh may wonder how to prepare your own eventual passage. Begin by clearing unfinished conversations, donating possessions that no longer resonate, and practicing silence between breaths. Each act trains awareness to loosen easily, making death less of a jolt, more of a glide. Cultivate daily reflection on actions ripples, because that habit echoes directly during the 40-day review. Prepare through mastery, treating every midnight apology or sunrise gratitude as rehearsal for release. During these first 40 days, visitors from subtler planes arrive quietly, adjusting your etheric circuitry. Some you once called grandparents, others you never met yet feel instantly trustworthy like ancient companions. They orient you to new senses, hearing color, tasting memories, traveling by focused intent rather than steps. You learn that location responds to thought, and thought responds to feeling, making emotional hygiene paramount. The mentors repeat one principle: the frequency you hold is the vehicle you board. Choose wisely and consciously. Soon a shimmering aperture unfurls ahead, neither left nor right, yet unmistakably forward. The music you heard earlier threads through that light, promising familiarity deeper than childhood memories. You sense that stepping through finishes the 40-day arc and begins an even wider adventure. Before moving, you turn once more toward Earth, sending a final wave of calm encouragement. Then you gather intention like wings, preparing to enter realms where thought sculpts environment instantaneously. The instant you lean into that luminous aperture, environment responds like liquid to intention. You move without muscles, guided by magnetism shaped by memory, desire, and newly earned clarity. Behind you the hospital fades, ahead a vast transit hub shimmers, no walls yet countless paths intersect. Each path vibrates at a unique octave, and you find yourself humming the note that matches. Frequency now functions as passport. Any corridor beyond reach simply feels invisible to your perception. Graceful figures greet you, their forms inspired by your own symbolism, so you feel welcomed immediately. One resembles a childhood friend, another mirrors an elder you trusted. All radiate composed encouragement. They are transition facilitators, specialists in orientation, ensuring the shock of novelty never overwhelms growth. Without words, they transmit understanding. Your choices magnetize this arrival, and your openness amplifies possibilities. Guides highlight resonance, allowing you to step toward whatever echoes deepest truth. Some souls enter organized colonies described by spiritist chronicles, communities of learning surrounded by flowering avenues. These colonies possess hospitals of light where subtle surgeons mend fractures left by guilt or addiction. Libraries contain living records. Pages unfold holographically, allowing study of cosmic cycles, planetary histories, and arts of compassion. Gardens bloom with colors unseen on Earth, each petal releasing tones that recalibrate emotional circuitry. If your vibration holds unresolved density, you might first pause in threshold zones often portrayed as shadowy valleys. These regions mirror interior storms until insight dissolves them. Eternal punishment never applies. There you meet others wrestling similar patterns, and mutual recognition sparks collective healing unavailable in isolation. Progress depends on willingness to release bitterness. The moment you relinquish blame, atmosphere brightens and exit portals appear. Before any return, you meet with a council composed of mentors, equals, and occasionally souls soon to incarnate alongside you. Together you design lessons, relationships, pivotal crossroads, always respecting free will yet arranging probabilities toward growth. You review genetic lineages, cultural climates, global events, and personal talents that could support chosen objectives. Every agreement feels simultaneously meticulous and spontaneous, because planning here operates through intuitive resonance. When design completes, a wave of serene excitement courses through you, similar to stage fright blended with infinite hope. Though incarnational planning occupies attention, the newly freed soul frequently visits Earth during the first months post-departure. Dream invitations remain the easiest bridge. While relatives sleep, their subtle bodies rise naturally, forming meeting rooms of moonlit memory. You share guidance, exchange forgiveness, or simply radiate affection until their grief softens into peaceful motivation. At times you manifest as fragrance, melody, flickering light, or a butterfly landing precisely when doubt overwhelms a loved one. Each sign respects universal law, offer reassurance yet never override autonomy, encourage but never coerce. Sensitive individuals awake may glimpse you in peripheral vision, an impression of movement followed by sudden calm clarity. Mediums capable of stable trance translate your messages into spoken words, though transmission always filters through their vocabulary. You learn quickly that effective contact depends on the recipient's frequency. Anger jams the channel, gratitude amplifies clarity. Therefore, many visits involve silent support, a presence whispering courage into intuition during hard choices. The living often report uncanny synchronicities afterward, not realizing those coincidences were your orchestration from subtler dimensions. Arrival of the first anniversary carries unique significance recognized across cultures because collective memory magnifies energetic thresholds. Relatives gather, light candles, perform ceremonies, or simply share stories over dinner, unknowingly amplifying a resonant field around you. If their tone is celebratory, the field becomes luminous, propelling you toward farther horizons with effortless grace. If their tone fixates on loss, the field thickens, prompting you to remain nearby until sorrow softens. Most families blend tears and gratitude, creating balanced lift, and you ascend while they integrate acceptance inside everyday routines. From your expanded vantage, the anniversary feels like graduating from primary school. You honor experiences, thank teachers, then step onward. You sense the earth as a glowing orb wrapped in cords of collective emotion, each human a unique string. Music rising from that planetary harp influences distant realms, and you vow to keep your note tuned regardless of location. Many souls join teams composing healing symphonies beamed into dense urban centers where despair clouds perception. They whisper inspiration into scientists, artists, and activists, continuing service without needing physical hands. Eventually a longing awakens, either to explore completely foreign dimensions or to incarnate again among familiar challenges. No external judge dictates schedule. Internal alignment determines readiness, like ripened fruit naturally releasing from its branch. Some choose decades of Earth time before returning, acting as guides, researchers, or archivists preserving human creativity. Others reincarnate swiftly, drawn by collective shifts requiring fresh perspectives carried in newborn eyes. Whatever path selected, continuity persists. Nothing essential is lost, only context changes, like musicians switching stages between movements. For you listening now, this entire journey may feel distant, yet preparation begins with the next breath. Practice noticing emotions as weather inside a glass globe. Observe without becoming the storm you witness. Offer sincere gratitude before sleep, inviting your subtle body to remember nightly excursions and integrate lessons at dawn. Speak honestly, resolve disagreements quickly, cultivate presence during mundane chores, polishing awareness until it reflects light effortlessly. These habits weave a sturdy vessel able to cross death straight with confidence and minimal turbulence. When someone you love departs, honor them by living wider rather than shrinking into despair's narrow tunnel. Transform longing into creative action, plant trees, volunteer, write letters they inspired, amplify their echo through constructive deeds. During anniversaries, set an extra place at the table, speak their name, recall humorous stories, and release them again lovingly. Such gestures broadcast freedom, signaling that your bond now trusts distance and thrives beyond physical proximity. In response, you may feel a feather-light touch on your shoulder or inspiration bubbling up unexpectedly, their thank you arriving in silence. Remember always, death is less an ending than a syllabus revision. The classroom expands, curriculum deepens, teacher and student merge. Live so your questions remain curious rather than desperate when that moment arrives. Carry kindness like a passport because realms ahead decode every vibration instantly, revealing substance beneath persona. Every breath, word, and gesture you craft now writes orientation notes for future thresholds.